All right, we are now officially live. Let me first of all just greet everybody and say, hope you all are having a Merry Christmas. And today is a special clergy conversation because I'm talking with my big brother, one of my mentors, role models in ministry, the Reverend Doctor William McKinley Jackson, the proud pastor of the Samaria Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas. So, big bro, good to
Doc,
have you
you done
on.
started
Introduce
going in
yourself.
and out again. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now? Hold on, wait. Oh shoot. Hold on,
Okay.
wait.
Okay. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
I got you.
Okay. Well, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Dr. William McKinley Jackson, pastor of the Samaria Baptist Church in the city of Fort Worth, Texas. And so on the east side.
On the east side, yes. So, like I said, big bro, this is my one of my big brothers, role models in ministry, Pastor McKinley Jackson. Even though he got this cowboy hat on, but I ain't gonna hold that against him. He got his cowboy hat on, but I wanted him to just come on for a few minutes just to encourage us as it relates to ministry. So, big bro, let me start this off by just asking you just tell us, how you were converted, how you were saved, and your ministerial journey. So let's start with tell us about your conversion experience.
Well, I was saved at a very early age, as far as I can remember. And even before I could remember, uh, I've been trying to get to the pulpit. Uh, I remember pastors. I was originally born in a small town outside of Dallas called Terrell, Texas, and a lot of the ministers would tell me, boy, you was trying to crawl in the pulpit. They'd have to run you out the pulpit, or and I and at this time I had no knowledge that I was going around asking other pastors would they let me preach.
Mm-hmm.
So my conversion and ministry journey would be that of that's is similar to Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel that I was called to preach from my mother's womb,
Okay.
and so much so till me and my dad was having a conversation. Who's my biological father and father in ministry? He said to me, he said, "Son, I know that you've been called to preach." He said, "Because the Lord involved me in your calling."
Wow.
Uh, because I started preaching at the age of 6. Of course, being that young, there's no way I could have made it to the pulpit. So God intervened on my behalf and touched my father's heart. And he finally yielded, but he didn't at first. He said, "Because I wanted you to have a normal childhood. I wanted you to grow up." He said, "I figured, I could see that, you had a calling on your life. So, I figured that, I'd wait till you was about, 17 or 18 or so, and then, start moving toward that." But he said the Lord arrested me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I had to yield to him, uh, uh, and allow you to start preaching at that age.
So, big bro, how was it as you say, with your dad being first your dad and your pastor, and
Mm-hmm.
you started preaching so young? So, how was that balance? From dad, but also pastor. How was that balance growing up?
Well, the one thing that my dad knew how to do, and I thank God for him, even in his grave, for the things that he shared, taught, and trained. My dad knew how to train young preachers.
Right.
Period. I mean, so uh, as soon as I was called, he taught me. He taught me protocol. He taught me what to do, what not to do. For instance, and I've seen preachers do this, if you're on to read a scripture, get up there and read the scripture and sit down. If you're on to pray, get up and pray. And not anybody asks you for no commentary. Nobody asks you to sing no song. Do what you are asked to do. And he trained us that way. If we got up and did anything that we were not asked to do, coming along when I was coming along, hey, he sit you down, or he'll pull your coattail, or whatever the case may be. So all of the preachers, most of them that ever sat under my dad, when they went elsewhere, we've even had other pastors call my dad and say, "I can tell that you trained so and so, or you did a good job," or da da da. He knew how to train young preachers, and I believe that's something that's missing in today's society as relates to young preachers.
So when we talk about your dad, the late Pastor McKinley Jackson Sr., for those who don't know, like just tell us about your dad. Tell us about his ministry. Tell us about his impact, because even now he's still reverend. So talk to us a little bit about your father, your late father.
Well, he definitely was a trailblazer,
Mm-hmm.
uh, community leader, uh, first African American pastor uh, to be elected to be city councilman of Fort Worth, Texas.
Wow.
He was a moderator of one of the oldest district associations in the state of Texas. Uh, he served on so many different boards, former president of Baptist Ministers Union, both of Fort Worth and Terrell, Texas. He served as president of the NAACP in Terrell, Texas. He chaired the sickle cell board here in Fort Worth. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on of all of the boards and all of the different accolades. Product of Bishop College, Southern Bible Institute, and he was a great preacher.
Right.
He was a scholarly preacher. And one of the other things that he did for me, and I'm so glad he did, uh, my dad turned me on to great preachers at an early age.
Yes, sir.
When Bishop College was still in existence, every year they had what was called, they had a national institute called the L.K. Williams Institute, and preachers would come from all over the country. And this is when I came into the knowledge of just uh, the type of preacher or because I just knew him as my dad. I never knew the notoriety that he had
Mm-hmm.
until I went with him to a national meeting. I mean, of his generation, there's just wasn't nobody that he didn't know or that didn't know him. So he was a national preacher. He was a well-known preacher, and to be able to see him, in that light and experience, and then I had the pleasure of meeting great preachers. He come along in that era with guys like Emmanuel Scott, senior. He was Jack Rector, the late Jack Rector of San Antonio, the
Mm-hmm.
E.B. Hills, the A. Lewis Pattersons, the Miles Jones, Dr. James Flakes of Detroit. I mean, I can just go on and on. C.A.W. Clark. And I got a chance to be in the presence of all of these great preachers
Yes, sir.
as a youngster because they were friends of my dad.
Yes, sir.
And I got to hear them. These were the great minds in the late S.M. Wright. I mean, I can go on. C.B.T. Smith. I can go on and on and on. So at an early age, my mind was able to start being shaped
Yes, sir.
and formed because I'm hearing the best of the best.
Yes, sir.
And so it helped me to have an appreciation, number one, for the gift and the craft, and then give me somewhat of an idea and help to shape my thinking pattern
Yes,
as
sir.
relates to approaching the text. And
Okay.
school just helped me to bring it out.
Right. Now, when you talk about, because I mean, my goodness, you listed like a lot of heavy hitters. So when you talk about being in their presence, what was it about being in their presence that influenced you? Whether was it, whether it came from body language, mannerisms, and I know the old golden rule: when you're in a room with legends like that, you don't say anything, you just be quiet. So
Exactly.
so talk to us just about how was it being in these rooms with these giants, and just what did you learn, what did you absorb, and what kind of wisdom did they share with you?
Well, of course, at 6 years old, up until shucks, I was just about grown. I was toting briefcases a lot of
Right.
times for these
Yes, sir.
guys,
Yes, sir.
and they would always, most of them would always tell me, uh, the sky's the limit.
Right.
you know, uh, Listen to my dad. He was a great preacher. You ain't gonna go wrong if just, stay with him. Follow his precepts, his concepts. And I was, and so that generation of preachers encouraged young preachers to stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
To continue charting the course. Don't and by all means go to school.
Yes,
I
sir.
never will forget when I finished my bachelor's degree. Uh, it's the late Reverend Bob Sanders, Ariel Sanders of
Yes, sir.
Pleasant Mount Gilead. He said, "Where you gonna go to school?" And so
Mm.
I said, I just finished school. I just finished my bachelor's from Dallas Baptist University. I know that. I said, oh. He said, but I'm asking you because basically what he's saying, I know you ain't finna stop now. So where
Right.
are we going next?
Right.
I caught it, and so I was like, oh, okay. And so those pastors of that era had a level of expectation
Mm.
of young preachers,
Yes, sir.
and they would help you, and they could help you if you would listen and be humble.
Hmm.
Another great giant that I've had the pleasure of being around is Dr. F.D. Sampson, and
Yes, sir.
he reminded me of something that I've heard my daddy say so often. I've heard Dr. F.D. Sampson, I've heard my daddy say it, that God rewards faithfulness.
Yes, sir.
He rewards faithfulness, and so if you can remain faithful, God will bless your ministry. And so I've been impacted, I've been influenced, and I owe all it to my dad because he would often tell me, he would say, "Son."
Wait, did he leave? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Here he comes.
All right, I lost you. Are we back?
Yeah. Yeah, we good. Keep talking. We good.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You a little spotty. Can you hear me though?
Okay, you starting to go in and out.
Okay. Hold
Okay, I
on.
got you now.
Technical
I got you
difficulties.
now. I got you now. I got you now. So as I was saying that my dad would often tell me that a cow
Uh-huh.
has the pleasure to graze anywhere in the pasture that it wants to,
Mm.
but
Wow.
that cow must produce its own milk.
Wow. Wow.
And so that helped me throughout my ministry to know that, hey, it's all right to glean from great preachers,
Right.
but in that, in all of what you glean and great writers that you read, and
Yes, sir.
you have to come up with your own identity.
Yes, sir.
And so I have a little bit of all types of preachers in me,
Right.
and so but at the same time I have my own identity.
Right. Well, and I know, we always talk because Big Bro, he constantly stays on me about school, which
Yeah.
which we definitely gonna continue to go because Big Brother always is telling me make sure you go to school, get your masters. So
Right.
when you went to school, and I know you just earned your doctorate, which was a phenomenal accomplishment. What was it about school that really made you glad that you went? What about school made you glad that you went?
School did two things. School helped to broaden my perspective
Mm-hmm.
as relates to great writers, and most of all, because I already had my um, I already had my foundation before I
Yes,
got
sir.
in school. But school really impacted me also as far as discipline.
Yes, sir.
Uh, uh, the reading that's demanded of you, the writings that's demanded of you. It helped me with discipline. It helped me with my study habits, study methods, and again, it turned me on to other writers, other books, other authors that I was able to glean from, and really, I thank God, for my doctorate degree has really had an impact on my ministry and on me in this season.
Yes, sir.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, and so I got so uh, my doctorate is in
Hold up. What'd you say? Speak up. I think the audio messed up. Oh, fix your audio. Fix your audio. Hold up. Fix your audio again. I think it went out. I can't hear you. Hold on. I think your audio may have went out. Can you hear me? But I can't hear you though. Hold up. I can't hear you. Try to press the mute. See if you hit the mute by accident. And all right, now hit the mute again. No, I still can't hear you. So we may have to start this over. Let me see. Yeah, we might have to start this over because I can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I just can't hear you. All right, hold up. Y'all can only hear me. Y'all can't hear McKinley. All right, hold on, y'all. We trying to get it back. Like I said, we might have to start it over. We'll just pick up. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that, Cash. You probably gonna have to sign back on and off. So hold up. I'm on. We gonna restart it because like I said, I can't hear you because I think something went off and then we just restarted. Okay. All right, hold up. We'll be back, y'all.